sort of cathartic, or was it something that you wanted to do to kind of retain that memory, to sort of never lose it and somehow celebrate and venerate it?
Well, the way it worked is like this. You see, if it was only for my architecture, I wouldn't do a film.
Right.
Because, you know, I did buildings and I published books and, you know, so what I had to say in architecture, I did already. And if it was only for my childhood memories, I don't think I would do a building, a film as well.
Right.
The idea was really how to connect the two, because in one, you know, at one point I really realized that maybe all the, you know, all the answers that I got from the scientific world, from the Dalai Lama, from Buddhism, whatever, maybe I got it already subconsciously, of course, as a child, watching my grandmother. I mean, the way she was doing things, which I call the art of making, really.
Yeah.
Or the patterns of the streets and the buildings and the whole atmosphere. I mean, it's really, I guess I had it, you know, it had a lot of impact of what I was doing and what I was. So the idea was how to connect the two. I mean, and this was the real challenge, you know, how really to connect, you know.
I think you did it successfully, and you used some very.
Did you encounter any challenges when you were taking like different camera shots, when you went to like different areas?
You were taking the shots down the alleyways.
Okay.
Did you encounter any challenges trying to get the right tracking and the right smoothness of shots?
You see, well, the places where the girl went is really the places where I, as a child, went. I mean, it was the real alleys. I mean, you know.
You trot.
And since you contribute a lot, you know, since you had so many different roles, how long it took you to do everything? I mean, from the pre-production to the final cut.
Okay, the film took me 7 years.
7 years. Wow.
7 years.
But along that 7 years, I did the building, I published the book. I mean, I did other things. But the reason it took me, of course, I did it in phases, also the cinematography, because of the money, so it was not done in 1 year. It was done in 3 phases, the shooting.
Yeah.
Okay. But the reason it took time, luckily I was the producer, and no one knocked on my, you know, and said, oh, you have to finish it. Because I think that, you know, like in any profession, you need time to do it well. I mean, to do it how it should be done. I mean, it's like cooking. I mean, you can't bake, you know, I always, when a client asks me, oh, we want the drawings quickly, I said, okay, how long does it take to make a cake? It takes 1 hour. You can make it in half an hour, because to bake a cake takes 1 hour. So, now also, you see, the way I did the film, normally, I think, you know, from your studies, the film industry is very fragmentary. You have, you know, you have the director, you have the music, you have the producer, you have the production design, you have this, you have that. Each one is doing chronological thing. I mean, first you do the shooting, then you do the editing, then you put the music, you install them. I didn't work like this. I don't work like this in architecture also. I think that things have to be all what I was just mentioning has to be, though, on different levels of scale at the same time. What I mean is, for instance, okay, after I did the shootings, that's okay, that was obvious. But once I did the editing, and this is the reason I did the editing myself. I mean, I had some technical people helping me, you know, to do the editing, but I did actually, I told them where to cut and all of this. Is once I did, you know, the cutting or the, you know, I started to put also the voiceover and the music. and then it didn't look good, and then again. I mean, the whole time I worked with all the things, but of course, first it was like a sketch, like you do a sketch and then you improve it, you know, deeper resolution, but always the, you know, things, because I think that, you know, as I said, you know, like the music, the voiceover, all of these things are not things that you add. It's part of the whole. So you have to always work together and to get feedback from the whole. And then you say, okay, no, this is not the right place to put it. Then, you know, different, and then you go up. And each time you have a different whole, because each time, you know, the editing of the shooting is more clear, more final, so then you have maybe to change also the voiceover and all of these things. And yeah, so luckily I was the producer, you know, so I didn't have to rush.
So you didn't give yourself a hard time?
Yeah, and I think, I don't know, you know, as I was speaking about architecture, you know, also, I mean, all the details really matter. And you have always to look at the details and change and get feedback and go back and go forth and like this, you know. So now, each thing, I mean, only the text, you know, the voiceover, I think, took me 1 year, because this was very, you know, at first I wanted really, I hoped to make a silent movie. No voiceover, nothing, just visuals. But then I realized that if I make just a silent film, it was very difficult to understand what I wanted to say. Because there are very, also, you know, very abstract things there. Okay, so then, you know, from 72 minutes, only 17 have voiceover. So there was a need for a minimum voiceover. But then to decide where to put where, what to put, what is important, what, you know, I was free actually to do whatever I want. I mean, it's not like a story or something, so, you know, I can put it. And then I decided about the timeline, which was the holidays, the Jewish holidays that I used to visit my grandmother. This was the timeline, you know? And in each timeline, I had to decide what to put, what is relevant, what is... So like this, you know, so it took 7 years, yes. You know, the colors and the stuff at the end, post-production. Of course, I took professionals and I had to pay, and they were the best. But I did many things myself. I even, you know, I was sewing the dresses of the girl, and I mean, I did many things that you buy and you have to pay for. So I guess, you know, I could do it with less money than if it would be, yeah, because I think I enjoy the process very much.